table after this match.
Enemy spotted. Way out there, like little cucarachas.
Oh, incredible angle. Ito can't believe she missed the shot. Not easy, but she had the whole table open. She worked so hard to save the ball before. Juling and Wang Manyu on their feet. What a save and an angle here. Yeah, you can understand the frustration.
Yeah, having got to that ball, really stretched out.
Look how fast that was. This, again, is some type of crazy banana. It's tough to read exactly. Watch. Straight side spin fast. When you get Liu Shiwen chopping, essentially an attack, you know you've done something right. A little bit off the top of the net, but Liu Shiwen back within one. Again, Ito starting this game strong. Imagine if she had made that backhand to the open table. I mean, the score right now could be quite one-sided. If Ito gets a 2-0 lead, Liu Shiwen, you know, as solid of a player as she is, the question is, under pressure, how does she perform? This one's left up too high. High and shallow, Liu Shiwen there to clean up, ties up the score. No, it's interesting watching in terms of the teams that are chosen, Jill. We imagine the coaches have really done their homework. Head-to-head, Kasumi Ishikawa has played 11 times with Ding Ning and never once won. With Liu Shiwen, 9 times and never once won. So I think that's a good reason to say, you know what? Let's put her in the 3rd spot. Let's give the young ones the surprise factor a chance. After all, Mima Ito's beaten Ding Ning before. And, you know, Miu Hirano's beaten Ding Ning before. There's a possibility for some wins here.
Yeah, they'd have studied it extensively, especially, you know, final of the World Championships. They'll have all that information at the ready. Video analysis, everything.
Yeah, these are the most 2 well-prepared, the most 2 well-equipped teams. From cameramen, physiotherapists, doctors, everything they need. Nice recovery here. Liu Shiwen from down comes back into the lead now. Mima Ito's patterns. Again, she's been quite unpredictable, quite aggressive. Solid over the table. While she can make that shot with those short pimps on the backhand side, still just a little bit less rotation, especially from that low, so it's not quite as secure as Liu Shiwen should be.
Contact. Go to use a Phoenix kit. I am down.
Excellent work. Liu Shiwen hangs in there to recover the net. Very focused right now. In terms of nerves, a score like this after being down by quite a bit from the start will definitely loosen up Liu Shiwen, encourage her to keep playing her game. Nothing like a bit of positive reinforcement from the scoreboard to help you out.
I always think with Liu Shiwen, she's obviously won the World Cup 4 times, runner-up in the Worlds twice, and she's won so many ITTF World Tour titles, but she's missed out on the big one, like the Olympics and the World Championships.
This shot right here, I just can't believe how hard Mima Ito hit that. The serve sits up just a little bit, and it's enough for her to just crush it. And you're right, you know, in terms of the biggest titles, Liu Shiwen isn't always given the privilege of representing the country when it counts so much. To win that many World Cups and all the titles that she's collected, it's so interesting how players would trade. Out of all my World Cups, I'd give you 3 of those. I'd give you all of them for an Olympic gold medal in singles. She hasn't yet competed. Chinese fans in the crowd there with flags in hand. Good pressure from Ito.
Steps in well there. Punch that backhand. The pimples. Very flat, great angle.
Now, Liu Shiwen's been challenged yesterday by Hong Kong, China in the semifinals. Some close matches. I think it was Du Hoi Kem who took her to the 5th. Oh, look at this push. It's a dart with side spin. timeout now for Liu Shiwen. Out of all the different names for shots that have been created because of these new shots, Mima Ito's going to force some new vocabulary again. I mean, there's a chop block, but that was like an attack on the receive with the same spin.
多点短路，哎，短路没问题。关键不要把旋转拉死，这样不要。对，完了反手的时候不用这样，哎，有时候就蹭那个就可以，蹭那两个就可以，啊，他平出来的时候不行，你一拉他压着那时候还行，他平，拖出去啊，你有的时候你不怕的，你能蹭着，哎，让他对。 完了，接把球还盯住长球，完了他给你短球，他那个亲了都没关系啊。
That was a very interesting timeout, just in terms of the dynamics of who was doing the speaking. You know, the respect for the coach on the Chinese national team is just incredible. And Zhu Yuling, relatively young, 23 years old, 4 years younger than Liu Shiwen, spent a good portion of that time talking, standing next to Li Su.
And they took the whole 1 minute as well.
Talk
unusual.
About, yeah, that backhand to backhand rally. It looked like they were telling her, relax, stay calm, don't rush it. Big point here right out of the timeout. It's tough not to rush when you've got Mima Ito on the other side, though, putting on these fast shots. If she can serve deep to the backhand like she did here, get a slightly slower spinny shot, it's going to be a little bit more comfortable to counter. Now the serve's back on the side of Mima Ito. That angle was so wide. Ito making the big shots, but it takes many here. Watch this. One right on the line, exiting the side of the table. Completely understand the emotions of Ito. 3 game points for Liu Shiwen. Ooh, tomahawk chop block on the forehand side. You know, I talk about the versatility of Mima Ito, but right now her level of creativity is just through the roof. I mean, even Koki Niwa doesn't pull out this many side spin shots with so few points, not in the big ones. Don't know if that was an overstatement, but Mima Ito clearly playing fearlessly, and she saves a game point. 2 more for Liu Shiwen. Also fearless here, goes for the big forehand flip kill. Had that gone in, it would have added a lot of pressure, but Liu Shiwen takes the game, 11 points to 8. We're tied up at 1 game apiece. We'll see who takes the lead. Game number 3 coming up right after this.
那我现在一个就是第一是上旋不能发弓，我就正手在范围内的接发球点他慢，动作慢，这张有挑搓对打点
両サイドのトライ。
跟在ファースト。
レシーブは全部偏って相手に読まれないように。サーブは3点。
There's Ding Ning, the Queen of Hearts, in the practice hall, the VIP practice arena right now. Getting warmed up. She is on second. She'll be playing against the Hurricane, Miu Hirano. So we will see. Again, an overwhelming record for Ding Ning, but Miu Hirano relatively recently has beaten Ding Ning. So back for game number 3, Liu Shiwen, the bit of momentum and the serve. This is incredible. Really, Liu Shiwen is handling some of the most deadly shots from Ito. Just manages to reach out, get the racket there. Recovers the net ball first, right at the baseline of the table. 2 shots in a row. To even get those back on the table is crazy, but she does it with perfect placement. You know, Ito's bringing a very high-level game right now. It's a tall order, but Liu Shiwen is just upping it by a bit. It's really all that's necessary to be stronger than the opponent in every aspect of the game.
We've only got a minute and the ring's right there.
So it's not quite the same effect. Liu Shiwen, when she gets that opening, even behind the table here, she blocks one, slightly softer to the middle, a little bit shallow. Liu Shiwen closes the racket, comes inside the ball. Quite unpredictable, Jill.
Yeah, she's changing the pace, direction. That slow, spinny one she puts in.
There's that parallel that we love so much, but Liu Shiwen just seems to have a map to the future here. She just seems to know where the ball's going.
Yeah, anticipation there was superb. She stepped in.
It's a fine combination of not leaving early, knowing where to look at the opponent, and then moving quickly at the last moment. Nice lift here. Ito has caused some trouble with these different backhand receives.
She's got great variation, hasn't she, on receive?
Oh, yeah.
Of serve. Nice touch play. These nice little spinny ones she does with her wrist.
Second time I can recall. Actually, Ito had one that went in early last game quite similarly. Let's see how high this sits. Not very high, just barely above the net, and she tries to play it to the short side of the table. I mean, that's an incredibly low percentage shot, but for Ito, it's higher, significantly higher than most. Liu Shiwen fan there covering the face with the Liu Shiwen poster. The fangirl culture. So score-wise, Liu Shiwen has done nothing to slow down her dominance. Game number 2, quite tight. Ooh. Let's see one more time here. Ah! Right in the cheek.
There's that nice little slow, spinny one again.
That's so difficult. The ball was left awkwardly out in front of Liu Shiwen. I think 9 players out of 10 in the world would have so much trouble with this. Look at that. She barely used anything. She was leaning forward like she was on a ski jump and just used her wrist to spin it up.
And it was so low below the table. She picked that up well.
Oh, my goodness me, Ito! Passed the test this time. Liu Shiwen gets so many of these back, just rockets back and forth. There was Jun Mizutani's wife in the crowd watching and cheering. Corner to corner, coast to coast, Ito cannot let the ball rise for a moment because who will be there? Liu Shiwen. Just magically appearing, poof, corner to corner.
Point jumping. Until the ring closes. You like cutting it close, huh? I dig that.
I like the way Liu Shiwen looks over and says, right? She held her hand up before the shot was ever played. Just wants to make sure that everything is copacetic. The feelings are mutual on the table, right? Let service. Okay, here we go.
10 seconds till ring close. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Oh, a bit off the top of the net, but a good save from Ito as she backed off the table. In terms of being behind the table, the setup of Mima Ito, she just can't get too far back. Anything that comes to her backhand, really, she's sort of helpless from behind the table. Ooh. Takes this one a little bit on the come down. That person looks like Shredder from the Ninja Turtles. I don't know if you're familiar with that character, but wow. Coolest fan of the day so far. We'll see if the fans get any better in their wardrobe. Touch in near the net, trouble as well. These are the tight points, the little ones that really, really matter because the score right now, you know, every point counts, but it's got to be such a complete game out here. Is this nerve? I mean, we see Ito missing some shots that she's been making pretty consistently throughout.
Good change of service there. Just pulling a little bit faster. Catching her out right in into the middle of the table.
Ooh, service error. Still 6 game points left for a 2-1 lead. We've seen crazier things. Comeback-wise, this would be pretty crazy, though. Good cover of the middle and then the wide forehand. Ito's been strong on the wide forehand. The middle's a tougher shot. Ooh, look at that genuine excitement. Again, the Chinese fans in the crowd outweighing the fans. Outnumbering, I should say. Equally slim as the Japanese fans. 5 game points left to Liu Shiwen on the receive. Oh, makes the big one. And Liu Shiwen brings it right back with the counter. 11-5, the most decisive game yet. And Liu Shiwen is up 2-1 over Mima Ito. We'll see what happens. Game number 4 coming up right after this.
这个路子啊，就坚定这个，完了一定要让他，一定有接发球，一定有长短，有快慢，有的时候捅他一个，有的时候飘他一个，啊，完了有时候你打得好的时候，该摆短还是摆短，完了主人在看，哎，怎么舒服怎么接，不要刻意动手。对。那你两个球准备有一个长的。对，先准备长的，啊，你先啊，先准备长的，完了以后长的，搁一个这个。 完了，他如果他自己跟老想这个，你这球一定当削球，给你先拉，一定要拉，一定拉，绝对不能再超人。
没事，这个球他出来，这球你
不见得发死定了，对，
他可以一局最多2个，
对，
心里去，他出那种球发野。
Game number 4, Mima Ito's last chance in the sense that she has to win this game to stay in the match. Again, the upset in the first match will be huge for the Japanese women. Oh, brilliant! Off a net ball to turn the corner and just completely choke it down the line. Smothers it. Sits up a little bit for sure, but plays the risky shot like it's no problem, sees the opening and goes for it.
Yeah, step round really quickly, touch that net.
Ooh, awkward ball, tripping up in the backcourt, wants to make sure her ankles are fine. Realize choking the ball sounds like a weird term because choke often used for missing an opportunity, a big one, but second point here, a bit of a break for Mima Ito. Although rewarded for her creativity in terms of leaving awkward balls up on the table.
I'm down. Hey, we got bad guys over there.
This is a pattern that Mima Ito has used a few times. One deep to the backhand corner with the backhand and the follow-up with the forehand. Typically a good one. I feel like Liu Shiwen's right there waiting, though. It's tough to fool Liu Shiwen.
Serve there, following. Long shovel serve. She steps in with that strong third ball.
Oh, it's us, it's us. The one in blue got warned a little bit too late. Yeah, I feel like the firepower right now with Liu Shiwen from the chos and everything else, she's just getting more confident, more comfortable for Ito. What do you think it's going to take for Ito, Jill?
Well, I just felt a couple of times she snatches at the ball. You know, she's playing it hard, but sometimes perhaps she doesn't need to hit it quite so hard. And then because she has making the errors, so... But, I mean, Liu Shiwen, I mean, she hasn't missed a lot.